Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd have a little bit of fun and combine my two loves together. That is my love of books and my love of my houseplant family. So I, like many a person, love houseplants. I have a wonderful collection of plant babies that I've had. Some of them I've had for quite a few years. They are part of my heart and I love them so much. I'll insert some clips of my little plant family. I thought I would give my houseplants the joy of reading. So I have decided to pick a couple of my key houseplants, choose every houseplant and gave them a book recommendation. This video would be far too long for anybody to be interested. So I've picked a couple of plants and I'm going to recommend them some books and I'm going to introduce you to my plants. So a little disclaimer, not all of my plants have names. I am too lazy and too forgetful to name them all. However, I do still love them like every good plant parent should. This is my first plant. I don't think I can get it all in shot. There we go. So this is my Aloe Vera. So this comes with a little bit of a story, but first some glamour shots. My aloe vera plant was given to me by an ex-boyfriend. So basically he gave me some aloe vera stubs and in like a little pot and I grew them. And this aloe vera has been the mother of many babies and we have had many a happy aloe vera time and it just has many sequels. And personally I kind of think because my beautiful aloe vera was a sequel to original aloe vera plant, I thought I would recommend it, an amazing series with a sequel that I thought was better than the first. I'm recommending my beautiful aloe friend, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, most notably Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. For those of you who don't know, Strange the Dreamer follows the story of Laszlo Strange, who is a scholar and is investigating the story of the lost city Weep. And in the first book he goes on this amazing journey to go find out more about this lost city, and then the second book just opens that world up and really takes it to another level. And I kind of think that that would really help my aloe vera because my aloe vera really went to the next level. I think Muse of Nightmares really stepped the world up a little bit, so that's why I think that my lovely aloe should read Strange the Dreamer. Okay, so the next beautiful plant child is my spider plant. This is my beautiful wonderful spider plant. Again, like my aloe, it was actually a cutting that was given to me by a friend. So this was a little teeny baby when I got it and then it grew up into a beautiful spider plant. I love it. It's really cute and because it's got the name Spider, I thought I would recommend it a bit of a creepy, scary story. So for little Spidey, I am going to recommend Night Film by Marisha Petal. This is kind of like a mystery, creepy horror film and it follows the story of a girl who is investigating the death of this cult famous horror film director, and working out what happened to him, what happened to his films. And then she meets like a cast of characters, and a whole kind of like detective creepy ass situation kind of comes ahead. It is so atmospheric, so creepy, and has so many twists and turns, and it has a lot of kind of like newspaper cuttings in, and it's really, really atmospheric. And I kind of think that little Spidey would love an atmospheric read. Next plant is a random succulent. I do not know what species of succulent this succulent is. This was given to me by my sister. It was a lot smaller when I got it. This little precious bean has grown a hell of a lot. I don't know if you can see, it's been sprouting some little spawns of succulent Satan recently, and in the last, I guess like 4 years that I've had it, it's really grown and blossomed. So I thought I would recommend a book that has grown on me and has had a lasting impression on me, because I feel like I wasn't too in love with this little guy when I got it, but now I feel like it's a treasured member of the family. Film by Leigh Bardugo. Obviously here I meant to say Ninth House. It follows Alex Stern, who investigates a series of deaths related to the cults of magic at Yale University. I think that's all you need to know. It's kind of creepy, mystery, charactery. This book it wowed me and it was good. However, I kind of keep coming back to it and keep thinking about it since I've read it, and I really do want to reread it. So I feel like this little succulent person would enjoy it, because it was a grower, and I kind of felt like the more I got to know Alex, the more I kind of loved her, and it's kind of like the more I've got to know this succulent, the more I've loved it. So the next little precious baby is another succulent. It's this one. It's got some rather unhealthy looking ends, which I'm a little bit worried about. However, I did recently feed all these the other day, so hopefully they'll blossom into precious, good growing children. So this is another succulent that I don't know the name of. I actually bought this myself in IKEA, again, a good couple of years ago, and it's exploded. Like many of my succulents, I've had to repot them over the years. So this little guy has had numerous house moves, but is now existing in this lovely red pot. And this little guy, although not as spiky as some of my cacti, which we'll get onto later, I do feel like he's got a bit of attitude. I kind of feel like he would be recommending, or they, I don't know the genders of my plants, by the way, I would recommend this precious little bean, Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. This follows two women who befriend a couple in London, and it's about becoming friends with these characters, and over time it's just about friends. Like, I can't even describe it, but the characters are, in this book there is no like good characters, no bad characters. All the characters are equally flawed in different ways, and I think it's one of the only books that I've read where I have disliked all of the characters for different reasons, and I think that's something that Sally Rooney is really, really good at. And I can't say I dislike this little friend, but I do feel like it's got attitude, and Sally Rooney's characters have really got attitude, and I think this little plant would really enjoy some spiky attitude characters. This is my bonsai tree. This little precious bean is also quite a few years old. I have not repotted it yet, but I've not killed it. I know bonsai trees are notorious to look after, but it's kind of like my little small pride and joy, and something I've really tried to look after and cultivate. So my bonsai, what would I recommend my bonsai? Well, I thought, because this little fella is a lot of work and requires quite a lot of tender, loving care. I would recommend Headscarves and Hymens, Why the Middle East Needs a Sexual Revolution. This book is a non-fiction book and follows kind of women's lives in the Middle East and how women's lives are quite restricted, and how that in some countries it's not even legal for women to drive cars. And it was this author kind of who'd grown up in the Middle East who had said what it was like after she'd visited Western countries, and she kind of has put together like a proposal of how and why the Middle East needs a sexual revolution while still maintaining the dignity and the culture of the religions that are there. Because she kind of crafts this kind of argument to say we need a revolution, but this is how we maintain the dignity of the culture, and we don't just become like another Western country, because that's not what we want to become. And how women should still obviously follow the Muslim faith and identify with Islam, which is the major faith there, but still kind of have their own lives and not be restricted in the way women have historically been. So it took me a long time to read. It's quite a complicated book. However, for me, it was 100% worth it. So I think my bonsai needs something to get its teeth into. It needs a complex argument, and it needs something that's quite like about society, because this little friend is somebody that you sit and have a red wine with and you just enjoy its company. Because I honestly, I'm so proud of this plant. I love it so much, and I'm so happy that I've not killed it. Next little friend is a tiny little kind of stone-like succulent. Can you see? Can you see it? This is a small but mighty being. If you want a bit of backstory, I bought this at a cacti and succulent fair. This is a thing that's held at the Birmingham Botanical Gardens every year, where cacti growers from all over the country come and show off their beautiful creations, and it is such a good time. I have been 2 consecutive years in a row and I absolutely love it. And this little guy I purchased from there. So I thought, because this little friend is small, I would recommend us a book that is a bit understated, a bit like not really talked about anymore on BookTube, but really, really mighty. So I'm going to recommend Wonder by Rj Palacio. This follows the story of Oggy, I think it's Oggy, who has a facial deformity, and it's about him going through school and going through all kind of like the steps at school, wanting to be in the school play and things like that. And it's just, it packs a punch. Like it really, really presents and normalises disfigurement, and Oggy is the best, most pure, most wonderful character, and it will make you feel all the feels. Honestly, it is, I think it's a middle grade book, and it is small, mighty. I know a film was made about it a couple of years ago, but I think this cacti would really love it, because I kind of think that it would like a small story that packs a lot of punch, because it's quite a short book as well, and I think it would really enjoy the emotional impact of Wonder. It looks like a slug. So this is my next friend. This is a cactus that I bought at a local supermarket, and it has grown wonky. I am going to twist it the other way to see if it grows towards the sun the other way, but cacti are notorious for growing so slow. So this cactus twists and turns in all sorts of weird directions, and it also has, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, spines have little tiny hooks, so it constantly gets caught on my window and on my net curtains. So this little friend has all the twists and turns, so I thought I'd recommend it a book that is like a life passage, a coming of age story, a book about somebody's twists and turns in life, and that is The Namesake. This follows the life of Gregor, and it is literally a story of his life, and it talks about kind of like what happens after he moves from India to America, and it's all about his identity as an Indian but also as an American, and also about how he comes to terms with who he is through his university years, through getting his first job, his first love, children, things like that. And it is such a good kind of Bildungsroman novel. It's a really good coming of age story. but it's also about how you identify when you are dual heritage and your nationality, and how you might live in one place that is one particular culture, and how you identify and come from somewhere completely different, and how you don't actually feel like there's home anywhere, because Gregor spends his time in America and thinks, okay, so I'm definitely Indian, and then he goes over to India and he's like, what the heck, I'm definitely American. And it's about trying to settle, and it's about the twists and turns of identity, and this guy twists and turns, and I don't think it really knows where it wants to be, or where it wants to exist, so I think it would really enjoy The Namesake and maybe identify with it a little bit. So this is the next little friend. This one came in a set of around 3 cacti that my friend bought me this Christmas. So it's real tiny. Tiny cacti, I think we need a tiny book. So I am recommending Holy Death of the Oyster Boy by Tim Burton. This is a collection of poetry. It's really small and really thin, but it's small and real whimsical. And it is, if you've watched any of Tim Burton's films, seen any of his comics, you will completely know what I'm talking about. It is Tim Burton-esque in style. I love Tim Burton. I think it's kind of a love or hate thing. I've seen people rate it quite low. But I think this guy needs to start off small to give it something to get its teeth into, because I feel like it's gonna grow, and I feel like you're gonna become something fantastic, but you just need the room and space to grow, and I love you. I swear, whenever I pick this guy up, it just spits spines at me. So this is my next cacti. It came from a local garden centre. It's a nightmare because it is full of really fine spines, and you only have to rub up against them and they kind of spit spines at you. However, this little cherub has definitely not grown in the way that I thought it would grow. It has taken a couple of unexpected turns and leaps, and I don't really know what to expect from it. So it just surprised me. So I think that it only needs a book that would surprise me. And I'm going to recommend a recent read, which is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. This book has obviously been met with real mixed reviews on the old booktube. However, I really liked it. I obviously didn't think it was perfect, but it had some really good elements in it, and I felt like a really unique setting and magic system that really intrigued me, and I loved it. And also in terms of the plot, even though it wasn't the best, I actually thought that it took some really interesting and unexpected turns. Kind of like this cacti. Like, I don't know how the series is going to pan out. I don't know how it's going to develop. The same way I don't know how this cacti is going to grow and what direction it's going to spring a thing in next time. But yeah, I think it deserves Wicked Saints, just because of its unpredictable attitude. And the final guy is what I think is a money plant. I am not sure. This again I bought at the Cacti and Succulent Festival that I went to in Birmingham. Really become a grower. Like, this little friend has really prospered and grown, and great. It's a understated favourite. So I thought that I'd recommend a book to it that was a favourite that I'd kind of forgotten about, so I'm going to recommend it. Bird Box by Rj Mailman. This is the story of a disease, a virus, a creature, like a creature that has taken over the world, and everybody is staying indoors. Oh, post-apocalyptic. Maybe don't read it at the minute. And you see it and it kills you, basically. This book is atmospheric, it is creepy, it gave me all the freaky ass feels, and I'd forgotten that it was a thing until quite recently. I know that Netflix made a film out of it that I didn't watch, and I feel like after the film it lost its buzz, even though it is a fantastic creepy book in its own right. So it's a forgotten, understated favourite, and I think this plant would really enjoy the creepy elements of Bird Box. And I love the way the story managed to build a creepy atmosphere, and it built throughout the whole book and kept you on the edge of your seat. And I think this plant would really appreciate that, because I forget that you're a favourite, and sometimes I forget that you exist, but I still love you. Those are all the book recommendations that I'm gonna give my plants. I'm sorry, plants, I'm looking at them behind me. I'm sorry if you weren't included in today's video. Let me know, watchers, in the comments down below if you would like me to do a part 2 of this, because I still have more plants that I can recommend books to, and I'm sure that they will thoroughly enjoy more books. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below what books you would recommend your plants. Do you think my plants are going to read the books I recommend to them? I'm not sure. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed the ridiculousness that is me getting covered in cacti spines, drop me a bit of love or a like in the comment down below, and if you want to hang out here, remember to subscribe. But I will catch you again with another video soon. Goodbye.